Good morning, dear friends. How are you today? I'm Esther Kuganja Adedoyin, and on a time like this, every Saturday, we come your way to share with you different topics. So, we recently started this new topic called Understanding Life. My husband Sami has been discussing this topic in the last weeks. If I can remember, last week he talked about life is a journey. It was a very interesting discussion because we related life to the experiences we go through when we're traveling, meeting people, other people get off the train, they leave you on, you don't see them anymore, accidents on the way, and relating all those things to life. It was really interesting. So if you missed that topic, please go back and find it somewhere on our timeline. Thank you for joining us. Anthony Chirowa, how are you? Good morning. Thanks for joining us. And everyone who's coming in. Charles Nasusi, Yo Urban, how are you? Thanks for coming up. Feli Amanda, good morning. How are you today? Thanks for joining us. So today we are continuing with the topic Understanding Life. And specifically today we are going to discuss Mother Teresa's poem. That great legend who changed so many lives during her lifetime. I was just thinking about it. I mean, she must have sat for a long time describing and thinking about life and summarizing life in 20 statements that we're going to discuss today. I request that my husband just helps me put them out there and pin them out so that you look at the text as we go along. So the poem has 20 statements. 20. That's a lot. And we're going to look at them and allow them to give us insight and understanding about life. So if you have any comments, if you have your own understanding of that, of what that statement means to you, please share with us. We usually like this broadcast to be interactive. We are learning from each other. Not one person knows it all. Okay, so I hope to finish on time as well. So thank you for joining us, friends. I hope you're well, wherever you are. So let's start on the poem of Mother Teresa, Life Is. And the first statement is going to be, life is an opportunity, benefit from it. Life is an opportunity, benefit from it. What is that telling us about life? How is that statement going to help us understand what life is all about? I welcome your ideas. Okay, so what I thought about this statement goes like this. We all know that life is a chance that is given to every newborn, every human being that comes on the earth once. It's just a chance that is given to us only once. Okay, so if you have a chance of only one, if you have a chance of a lifetime only once, you want to maximize that opportunity. You want to maximize that life, make it meaningful, so that at the end of it, you have no regrets. So how can we see life as an opportunity? Okay. So what we need to understand here is that we need to identify the keys that will help us open those doors of opportunity. Because life brings opportunities to everyone. In the book of Solomon, when he says that time and chance happens to all of us, it means that we all have opportunities around us. And the only problem is that we either are blinded to those opportunities or we don't have the keys. We see the opportunities, but we don't have the keys to unlock the doors. And some of those keys could be simple things, simple things like, for example, if you want a promotion at work, the key to that opportunity is the way you're working now. Your diligence, you turn up on time, you're productive, you're full of innovative ideas, you get along with all your superiors and colleagues. That's the basis they'll use to give the promotion. So that is the key to getting that opportunity. So you get what I'm saying. Life is an opportunity means we need to unlock the doors of opportunities to come into our lives, because the opportunities are all around us and we are either blinded to them or we don't have the keys. And what can remove the blindness is knowledge, exposing ourselves to knowledge. So I was just mentioning keys. It could be diligence, being ambitious for a certain goal, watching and seeing ways of how you want to improve the world around you. Okay, being persistent, asking questions. I usually think about this thing of asking questions. When you're around people who have achieved, people who are great achievers, always allow them to talk. Have questions for them. How did you get here? Get to this place? How did you overcome this problem? So by asking questions, you're unlocking doors of opportunities. You're gaining understanding. You're gaining knowledge and insight about what you can do to further your life. So life is an opportunity. It's a great book by Dr. Sandra Delaja. I didn't bring my copy with me. I don't have it here. It's called Life is an Opportunity. It's full of insight and wisdom on how to help you identify opportunities around you, of how to help you understand the different keys that can open opportunities that are before you. So I recommend that book. I request that my husband just puts the link, maybe from Amazon, just to show you where you can get a copy of that book. It's a great book, and I believe I'll be sharing more insights about what I've learned in that book during this topic in the future. Okay, so let's end that sentence here. I'm in the first statement, which is life is an opportunity, benefit from it. The second statement in Mother Teresa's poem is life is a beauty, admire it. Hello, Sister June. How are you? Life is a beauty, admire it. Life is a beauty, admire it. When Mother Teresa wrote this statement, it is obvious. Look around you. Look around you. If you don't see any beauty, there is something wrong with you. Even in the beauty of the slums, even in the beauty of poverty, there is something beautiful around every creation. Why? Because creation talks about the Creator. When Sammy mentioned that is a source of life is God. So if God is magnificent, glorious, and we came from Him, so we are all carriers of that glory. We are all carriers of that beauty. And beauty is in diversity. Let me put it that way. Okay. Life is colorful. Okay. And I mentioned about looking at nature. Recently we went to see the Sea Life Center here in Birmingham, and we saw different types of life in the sea. Different fishes. Before I only knew tilapia, the one you eat, the grey one. When you go to the Sea Life, you'll see purple fish, yellow fish, green fish, blue fish, red fish, different sizes, different shapes, and you say, my goodness, there's a God somewhere. In fact, when you look at nature, different trees, sizes, shapes, colors of flowers, look at the animals, look at the rocks, the shapes of the rocks, look at the water bodies, Look at the waterfalls. Look at every different animal and its uniqueness and how it can survive its condition, the way it was designed. You definitely know there's a God. In fact, if someone says there's no God, I don't know. I think they are blind. Because every creature talks about God. There must have been a mastermind behind every creation, because it's designed to thrive in the environment in the way it is designed. Even us, look at us, different colors of people, different faces. If we're all looking the same, then we would not know the definition of beauty. It will be limited to just one type. But you see beauty in blue eyes. You see beauty in black eyes. You see beauty in dark skin. You see beauty in light skin. You see beauty in we are all different expressions of beauty. So I think this is a very key statement, that life is beauty. Admire it. We need to learn how to create time to admire beauty. That's part of enjoying life. If you're all busy running around with our problems and you can't even notice the flowers around you, come on, relax. The stress will drop you off when you start to admire the beauty around you. It will make you even think and start to be creative. People who have admired nature have invented things. The designs we see in our fashion world, the clothes we wear, I saw them in the fish. Someone must have looked at fish, at animals, maybe at the zebra, the way its skin is designed, and developed fabric that we are all enjoying and wearing. People who admired birds designed aeroplanes. People who admired whales and fish designed submarines. People who admired snakes, the way they move, they designed trains. So beauty activates creativity in our lives. Okay, so we are creative beings, and even think about our seasons, the winter, the spring, the autumn. Just as you may think, oh, this winter is so dull. Check, the trees are gone and it's so cold and all that. Guess what? When spring comes, you see the beauty emerging. So life is beauty. Let us learn to admire it. The third statement is, life is bliss. Test it. What do we mean by bliss? Those moments when you feel joy, peace, contentment. For example, maybe you've passed that exam. Maybe your application has gone through about maybe a proposal, a business contract. You've achieved something. Those are moments of bliss. And life presents these moments to all of us. Let us test these moments. Okay? And that's how we can understand life. Okay? Life is full of bliss. We need to know how to test these moments. So that's the third statement. The fourth one is, life is a dream. Realize it. Life is a dream. If you look back in your childhood, you must have had different dreams and aspirations. I'll be someone great. Maybe, there's this problem I see. I think I'll be the one to solve it. I'll travel the world. I'll become president. We had those great dreams of being great. And, as you become 13, 14, then you go to college, you go to university, you're bombarded with all these courses you're doing, and lecturers are shaping you to be, to fall into their own limitations. So sort of you lose track of what you dreamt about. And when you are young, you are closer to your source because you are still coming to the world. You are fresh. So that was the real dream. But with problems of adulthood, adolescence, you get distracted, go into relationships, you wander here and there, you forget your childhood dream. Well, life is about fulfilling that dream. Go back on the drawing table. Identify that dream that you had very strong in you in your childhood. It's not too late to fulfill it, because that's what life is all about. Okay, let's not allow anything to stand in the way of achieving our dreams, because life gives us that space to realize our dreams. So whatever dream you have, life is the time to fulfill it, not when you're dead. That's the opportunity lost. So let us learn to treasure life. The fifth statement is, life is a challenge, meet it. I would like to read your comments. What do you think about the statements that we've discussed so far? Okay, now the fifth one is, life is a challenge, meet it. What do you understand by that? I want to hear from you too. Any comments? Thank you, Sammy. I've seen your comments. Life is a dream, realize it. That's what you're saying. There are different dreams we had while we were children. We must try to remember them and fulfill them. So true. Any other comments? Okay, as I wait for your comments, let me move on. Life is a challenge, meet it. Wow. You know what? Life presents different tasks to us. And these tasks require us to work mentally, intellectually, emotionally, physically, just to put in effort from all those aspects in order to make that task successful. So this tests our abilities. So we need to enjoy life because it is a challenge and we need to meet these challenges. For example, are you a dad? Are you a mother? Are you a student? Are you a worker? Wherever you are, in any sphere you are, you need to work at yourself. Bring out the best from yourself in order to present the best. And that's what the challenge is all about. So, if you're a dad, that means you need to develop yourself. Read about fatherhood. Develop yourself. Become better. Challenge yourself and meet the challenge of being a father to someone. Let them say that, actually, daddy, you're the best daddy in the world. If you're a student, there's a challenge to that. Hard work, diligence, studying, asking questions, doing your assignments on time. That's the challenge. So every task we find in life requires us to, push ourselves to the task and to the challenge and meet that challenge, because the ability is within us. We should not shy away from challenges. That's how we become experts in our field. Okay, so just imagine that if every cleaner was giving their best, meeting that challenge with all the best of their ability. If the pilots were doing their best, the doctors were doing their best, mothers and fathers were doing their best, teachers are doing their best, that would be heaven on earth. It would be heaven on earth, because you look around you and everyone is giving their best, life will be very interesting. Anyway, let's move on. Life is a duty, complete it. Life is a duty, complete it. So you may be asking, what is Mother Teresa trying to tell us in this? The insight I got from this statement is as follows. Life presents something that we have to do because it is part of our purpose. Remember, we are all coming from the source of life, who is God. And he had an idea of what our life will do, will contribute to the world. And that is a life purpose. So the source of life itself, the creator of all mankind, when he gave us breath, he had an assignment for us, for each and every one of us. No one is exempted. Okay, great or small, we all have a purpose. So our duty is to discover this purpose and pursue it. And this will bring so much fulfillment in our lives. So life is a duty. We need to fulfill it, to complete that duty, that life purpose that is attached to us. Okay, and we've been discussing about discovering yourself in the past with Sister June. All those are steps of how you can identify your purpose and assignment on earth and fulfill that duty. Okay, so I think when Mother Teresa said life is a duty completed, That was the message she was trying to emphasize. And also the seventh statement is, life is a game played. I love this one. Life is a game played. What does it mean? So when you think of a game, what comes to your mind? Different things, I would say. For example, when I think of the word game, what comes to my mind is teams, winning, excitement, losing, medals or trophies or rewards to the winning parties, rules of the games. When you think about all these things about games, they throw light to understanding what life is all about. And another thing that comes to my mind with any game is fitness, because you need to be fit in order to play the game. Yeah, you need to be fit. So you have to walk light, you have to play light. So in understanding about life, what that means to me is that I shouldn't carry excess baggages, things in the past, unforgiveness, hatred that weighs you down on the game of life. I mean, you'll be too heavy. You can't run around. You can't win. Your team will lose. So there are things we need to drop and lose weight. Mental weight, spiritual weight. There are some excesses we need to drop. Unforgiveness, hatred, focusing on the past, negativity, low self-esteem, all those things. In fact, I've discussed most of them on overcoming stigmatization as well. These things weigh us down and become overweight, too heavy to play at the game of life. Other aspects of life mean that there are rules to all these games. If you break the rules, you are penalized. Okay, we need to understand the rules of the game, the principles of life, so that we can be winners. And there's a trophy for the winning party. We all want to win, isn't it? So when we put in our best, there is a reward. Remember, the Bible says that after our life on earth, we'll come before God, and what you desire to hear is, well done, good and faithful servant. That's a reward. Okay. And we're still talking about this aspect of life, that life is a game played. Another aspect of life that is a game, that is about this game, is that, for example, if you're watching football, okay, you notice that it's not only one team with the ball all the time. The opponent team can also get the ball, they pass it on to their teammates and they play, maybe they score. And also that you'll see that another team also has the ball this time. Everyone has a chance. So life is about giving other people chances, giving, benefit of a doubt, let people win as well. It's not only about you. Cheer them up when they win. That's how to enjoy the game of life. That other people get opportunities as well as you. Life is not about you being the winner all the time. It's a win-win situation. I don't know whether you get my message, but anyway, that's what that came to my mind when I think about that. That life is a game played. Okay. And let's move on, because there are so many statements. The 8th statement is, life is costly, care for it. Oh dear, life is costly. Life is costly. I don't need to convince anyone about this. If you've been to hospitals, if you've been to prison, people who have been locked away, maybe because of an offense, they have lost life. I mean, because they are limited to only one small environment, they are missing out on so much in life. That's when you know that life is costly. So you have to preserve it. You have to care for it, not to get into trouble, not to break rules and regulations. Okay, when you go to hospitals and see people on their deathbed, people who are fighting, they're on oxygen, fighting for their life. That's when you actually remember that actually what I have is precious. Let me care for it. So recently, I had to go to the GP for some tests, and Some tests didn't come out so well. So I said, oh, the GP was saying, yeah, some lifestyles have to change. I had stopped jogging for a long time, so I've woken up. I have woken up. I need to care for my life. I need to put changes in place and change my lifestyle, change my diet, because life is costly. That's an example. I don't know what you've gone through. I don't know what comes to your mind to understand this, but let us always know. And that, in fact, this understanding helps you to treasure people, to treasure friends. Because when they come with you, they are sharing their life with you. And this life is costly. So we need to care for each other. And June is saying something here. Life gives each one of us an opportunity to learn new things and become better every day. True. Yes, June. Because once we are gone, we can't learn, we can't improve, we can't develop. We are finished. So life gives us these opportunities. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on. We've seen that life is costly. We need to care for it. Now let's move on to statement number 9. Life is wealth. Keep it. Life is wealth. Keep it. Every child comes into this world endowed with wealth. And that wealth is on the inside of them. So as a parent, as you raise that child, actually you start to draw that wealth out. By that wealth, I'm talking about gifts, talents, creativity, innovation, ideas. That is wealth. God is so great that each person he created, he endowed them with the resources they need to become great in life. So the responsibility is on us to develop those things, not to ignore them, not to be lazy about it. So we sit down and complain, oh, poverty, poverty. But actually it's us not opening our eyes, us not acting. The resources are within us. Life is wealth. Keep it. So I've mentioned that the wealth is in terms of your time. As you're aging, actually, you're even having that wealth of experience, gifts and talents, the skills you've acquired, the creativity, the ideas, the education, everything. Okay? And of course, this wealth can also be nurtured by the environment we are in, the education system we go through. So the better the quality of environment, education system, the more this wealth in you is harnessed, it's polished. You could tell when a child has gone to a not so good school and the one who has gone to a very high quality school. You see that they may have the same talents, but the person who has gone to a better school or who has been brought up in a better environment, that talent is more enhanced. So that's how you know that environment is key. Let us all fight for education. Let us all fight to nurture the wealth that is within us, because it's not there, it's there for a purpose. It was given to us for a purpose, to share with the world, to make our world beautiful, to improve on our world, to add on to creation, to solve problems. So, and when someone passes away, this wealth can no longer be manifested. So life gives us that opportunity to display our wealth. It's like a marketplace. Everyone has a store. You display what you have. When you're gone, your store is shut down. It's closed, and someone else comes over who is still alive to display their wealth. So once we still have life, we still have that store to display our goodies. Let us maximize that time. Okay? Life is wealth, keep it. So the 10th statement is, life is love, enjoy it. This one I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. Life is love, enjoy it. What do you understand by that statement in Mother Teresa's poem? Any ideas? Life is love, enjoy it. Anyway, as I was reflecting on this statement, what came to my mind, I remember that actually because we are from the source of life, who is God and who is love itself, we are products of love. If you see any person acting outside love, that means they have detached themselves from the source of life, who is love itself. We are naturally drawn to love. That is why when you walk around, maybe there's an appeal of a disaster somewhere, people are giving. You see acts of kindness around, and an elderly person enters a bus and someone younger is seated, they stand up for that elderly person so that the person who deserves to sit down sits down. Someone faints on the road, people surround them, they call 999, they bring the ambulance, they help them. We naturally display love. It's in our nature, it's in our being. So once you lose that, just check yourself. Am I still connected to the source of life? Life is love. Enjoy it. So we see many people around us. Enjoy the acts of love that people extend to you. Sometimes people give you something, you don't want to take it because, I don't take charity, I don't do charity. Well, you cannot enjoy life if you don't enjoy love. And enjoying love is both giving love and receiving love. If it's difficult for you to receive love, that deprives you of enjoying love. And if it's difficult for you to give love, that also deprives you of enjoying life, because life is grounded and founded in love. Okay, so let's learn to love and enjoy that love, both in giving and receiving it. Number 11, statement 11. Life is let me see, check how much am I doing on time. I'm good. Statement 11. Life is a mystery. Know it. This was a tricky one. Life is a mystery. Know it. What do you think what Mother Teresa was referring to when she made that statement? Anyone else? Help me think. Let's think together. I'll give you a minute. Life is a mystery. Know it. What does that mean? Any ideas? I'm waiting. Life is a mystery. Know it. Edward Senoga, thanks for joining us. Fred Chothembo, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Hello, Brother Paul. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you. So we are discussing this poem of Mother Teresa, and we are now on statement number 11. Life is a mystery. Know it. So I think the message that this statement is giving us, the insight is giving us on how to understand life is, or could be, that when you see life, not everything can be explained. You see, there are so many questions that we still are looking for answers. There are so many things that even doctors and researchers and scientists are still investigating. Not everything can be explained. Okay. But when we are so in partnership with the source of life, every mystery can be demystified. And there's a proof to that. There are great personalities in our world today. There are so many people we can mention. Look at the people who are rich, who have achieved a lot. They have demystified finances. There are principles and things they are doing that can make everyone else who can copy them attain the same success. Okay? And look at, For example, Dr. Sanda Delaja is one of the people I am trying to learn from, because he's developed himself so much that he's managed to explain some of the questions that we've been battling with for years. So some great personalities out there have demystified life. We need to get connected to these people, learn from them, maybe read their books, listen to their talks, read their bibliographies, and learn from their lives. And that's how we can gain knowledge. Life is a mystery, know it. I think this is a calling to show us that life should be a journey of acquiring knowledge all the time. So, because the more knowledge you have, the more mysteries you can solve. Okay? So, let us learn to love knowledge, to pursue knowledge. The more we know, the more we act on that knowledge, the more we solve mysteries that come our way during this life. June has said something. Life is a mystery because it is full of surprises. Yes, so there are new things every day. It's full of surprises. Because imagine, in the 1600s, there were inventions. In the 1800s, people are still inventing new things. Different phones are coming up each time. Things you didn't even expect, an idea has popped up. So there's always new things to learn. And all these things come about because people are researching, people are gaining more knowledge, people are climbing that knowledge ladder. So if you're just lazy and down there, you're content with what we know, guess what? There are so many mysteries you not solve. So let us learn to solve mysteries. Life is a mystery, know it. Okay, let's move on. Statement number 12. Life is a promise, fulfill it. Life is a promise, fulfill the promise. What does that teaching us about life? What is it teaching us about life? I'm coming back again to the source of life, because it's difficult to talk about life without referring to the source, and who is God. He had a specific purpose in giving life to all of us. He had the assurance that this new life would add value in the world, maybe through a specific sphere of influence or a group of spheres of influence, depending on the person. So he had confidence in our abilities, in each and every person's abilities. He has confidence in that. So that is the promise that we need to fulfill. He has confidence that we can fulfill the promise, that purpose for which he created us. So we all have a promise to fulfill. Because once you came into existence, breath came into you, even in your mother's womb, there was that purpose attached to your life. It is a promise. We need to fulfill it. Because guess what? The giver of life is trusting us, has confidence in us to do that. So it's like a promise that we need to fulfill. Okay? And let's move on to number 13. Life is a sorrow, overcome it. Yes, now we've gone to the other side of it. Not so exciting things. I like Mother Teresa. She thought about life in all the angles. Okay? And even came up with this statement, life is a sorrow, overcome it. What is this statement teaching us about how we can understand life more? Sometimes we experience stress or distress, which is caused by maybe a loss of a loved one, or of property, or of something, a disappointment, sickness, different things. And these are all part of life. Everyone goes through these hard things. Okay? And in fact, in the recent teachings of HMT, I was listening to Dr. Sanda Delaja, and someone was posing the question that, what is the purpose of pain? Why do we get pain? Why do we have to go through pain? And I love his answer. He said that, pain is needed for us to realize that I'm paraphrasing, these are not his exact words, but how I picked it up is that pain is needed for us to realize that we are vulnerable and we need God. Because guess what? When everything is rosy and comfortable, there's a way we sort of getting confidence in ourselves. You know, I don't need God. You forget God. You're running your own strength. You know, since you can make it on your own. Hey, but when a disaster happens, maybe a sickness happens, that's when your eyes open to realize that actually I may have detached from the source of life. I need God. I need to attach myself to my source. So these episodes of pain are there to help us come back to God, help us get closer to God, understand we need Him. Okay, so when we overcome pain and these sorrowful moments, you know, as the statement says that life is a sorrow, overcome it. We need to overcome it by coming out of these episodes of pain and sorrow better people, picking lessons and moving on. Not bitter people, but better people. That's how to overcome. So every negativity in life, it always has an opportunity behind it. It always has a lesson is teaching us. Let us learn to overcome this and move on. That is part of life. So that's what I think this statement is telling us. Life is a sorrow, overcome it. Okay? Any other ideas or statements? Okay, let's move on. Number 14. It's a long poem. Number 14 is life is a song, sing it. Life is a song, sing it. This is exciting as well. This is exciting, you know, for those of you who love music or who have sung before, you know that in any piece of music there are high notes, there are low notes. You can't sing on one note and expect that music to be so good. You need both the highs and the lows. So the song of life is that we need to embrace both the good, the bad, and even the ugly. That's how we can sing that song. There are benefits in all of these things. Look at the keyboard. It has both the white keys and the black keys to make a good piece of music. That is symbolic of life. Life is a song, sing it. Embrace those different aspects of life. They add flavor to life. They mold our character. We grow through those things. The challenges, the highs and lows. We have a balanced life, because if everything is rosy around you, hey, you may think that people who are suffering maybe are sinners or they are not better than you or something. No. So when you also hit the low point, you realize that, oh, actually, I'm understanding people. You become more understanding of people, more compassionate, because you've gone through the experience as well. So life is a good teacher. It's a good teacher in that when we go through all those highs and lows, the whites and blacks, it gives us, we become fuller, we become mature, we become more rounded in life, and we can deal with different situations. Hello, Daniel Mulumba. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so life is a song. We need to sing it. And that's what I have to say about that. Let's move on. Now, the statement number 15 is, life is a struggle, accept it. Life is a struggle, accept it. It is true that nothing comes easy. We all have to put in effort. We have to work at it. You know, I don't know which baby is born with every silver plate, whatever they call it, silver spoon, plate. Everything is from there. No, even the baby growing up, they have to struggle, learn how to walk, crawl, fall down, learn again, try again, then grow up. Then you go to school, you sit exams, you fail, you learn it again, you try it again, then you pass. So there's all the stage of life. Every stage of life is a struggle. There's effort. It requires effort. It requires work. You know, people who are achievers today, if you find how they started before, you realize that actually they put in effort. There was a bit of a struggle. we need to accept these struggles as we embrace life. So here I put that nothing comes easy. We need to apply hard work, diligence, and other principles to get the desired results. For example, to get good grades, to raise good children in the right way, all requires work. Maybe study, acquiring knowledge, putting into practice what you've learned. And that is a struggle. And also, we need to accept the responsibility that life throws to us. You know, if you've had children, you have to struggle to look after, you have to be responsible for your family. And that requires struggling. If you're a student, if you have assignment at work, maybe you're a worker, there's always a struggle there to accept the challenge and, take up the responsibility. And that is what life is all about. Life is a struggle. We need to accept it. Okay? Yeah. I don't know whether you have any questions. Okay, so number 16. Life is a tragedy. Confront it. Life is a tragedy. Confront it. Confront it. So what does Mother Teresa, what did she want us to understand about life when she mentioned that statement? What do you think? Life is a tragedy. Confront it. As I was looking at this statement, my mind came back to the social ills around us. There's no community where you don't see something tragic. Maybe an accident, a crime, an abusive relationship, maybe street children somewhere. It could even be natural disasters. All these are tragedies in life. But the confronting part of it is like a call to each and every one of us to be problem solvers. You don't pass via a problem and you're just indifferent. As long as your life is moving on well, it has nothing to do with you. No. Even if you don't have the resources, but you're thinking of ideas. How can we make our community better? What can we do? Maybe should we do a seminar for parenting? Should we do a seminar for husbands on how to treat women? What can we do to solve this problem? This is part of confrontation. You don't run away from problems. You face them. You solve them. That is what life is all about. So when Mother Teresa says that life is a tragedy, confront it. She's calling us to be problem solvers, to live a life of problem solving. Life is about solving problems. Okay? So let's move on. Statement number 17. Life is an adventure. Dare it. Life is an adventure. Dare it. Life is full of risks. Because adventure means risk, taking a risk. To start a business, you need a risk. To go to school, it's a risk. To learn how to drive and start driving, there's a risk there. Okay? Everything around us requires risk. In fact, there's a time I used to fear risk so much. But then I realized, you know what? In this life, I won't get anything done if I'm like this. I need to change. Because even to get married is a risk. Life is full of risks. Life is an adventure. We need to dare it. And through taking on that risk, actually that's when you discover the beauty behind the life. Okay? For example, making friends or applying for a job, you may say, oh no, what if they don't give me? What if they reject me? But when you take the risk, actually, and you get the job, won't you be happy? When you take the risk of making those friends and they add value to your life, wouldn't that be good? We need to dare life, because life is an adventure. Okay. Also, adventure means taking a journey into the unknown. And we discussed this with June, self-discovery. That is also a journey of adventure, because when you search yourself inside and draw out what's in there, you're actually taking an adventure in your life, discovering things you didn't know before, and that takes work. So learn to get onto that journey of adventure to discover the unknown, even within you, within others as well. Discover more gifts, discover more talent, discover what you can improve on. All that's part of adventure as well. Okay? Any comments? All right. Number 18, life is luck, make it. Life is luck, make it. How do we define luck? My husband made a statement as we were talking about this. He said that luck is opportunity meeting preparation, or preparation meeting opportunity. That is luck. Many times we think, oh, someone's born lucky, or I'm not lucky. But actually, if you prepare yourself for something and you're actually in the right place at the right time, you get that opportunity. That means you've put effort into creating this luck in your life. And that is why I think that life could defeat people who have this mindset, this miracle mindedness. Life could be difficult. Why? Because they have this thinking that, okay, I'll just pray about it and wait on God, and then God will do a miracle. Maybe, for example, sickness. Okay, let me use sickness. Maybe you're sick and you've prayed and there's no healing, and you're still waiting and sitting down there. Could it be that maybe if you go to the doctor and they give you some medication, God is also using that medication to make you better? In that way, you've created the luck for yourself. So we need to understand life in this context, okay? That we need to put an effort to create the luck that we want to see in our life. It just doesn't drop like manna from heaven. We need to put principles in place. We need to act on wisdom and knowledge, and seek opportunities around us in order to see the luck and to create the luck that we are looking for. So we need to follow principles in order to make it in life. For example, forgiveness, love, integrity, persistence, etc. These are the things that bring luck in our lives. So life is luck. We need to make it. Number 19. Life is too precious. Do not destroy it. Life is too precious. How am I doing on time? Life is too precious. Do not destroy it. You know what? Life is the most precious thing you own. It's not gold or silver or money. It is life. So it is a priceless gift that the giver gave to us. And of course, when someone gives you a gift, they expect you to appreciate it. It's like an investment. I've given you I've made an investment. I expect returns. That shows appreciation. So, are we investing our life in order to bring returns to the giver of life? When we do that, it shows that we value the gift of life that we have. Life is too precious. Do not destroy it. People who destroy life don't value life. Sometimes my heart is saddened when I travel, especially to Africa, and I see people driving cars and vehicles that are in poor condition, putting other people at risk on the road. These vehicles that are fuming, all this, polluting the environment, they haven't been checked for many years. Others are driving carelessly on the road, maybe under the influence of alcohol. Not minding that they are putting other people at risk. They don't value life. They destroy life by those acts of carelessness. People destroy life by abusing others through domestic violence, through whatever it is, So if we value this precious gift of life, we don't destroy it, we preserve it. anyone who acts, whose acts are to destroy, to bring destruction, just know that actually they are not connected to the source of life. Because the source of life, who is God, is a preserver of life, not a destroyer. So all acts of destruction do not come from the source of life. Any voice telling anyone, take your life, commit suicide, just know that's not a voice of the source of life. It's something else. Because the one who is the source of life cannot tell you to destroy that life. You're destroying him per se, because he is life. Don't destroy your life, because it's too precious. There is always a way around every problem. Just seek the right counsel. You'll overcome it. Life is too precious. Do not destroy it. I think there Mother Teresa wanted to preserve lives, to tell people out there who have given up on life, you know what, don't destroy your life. There's hope. And that was so precious of her. The last statement is, life is life. Fight for it. Anyway, actually, this one just summarizes all of the above. That life is life. Fight for it. God is life, and life is God. Fight to maintain your relationship with God. That's the insight I get from this. Because, you know, in the Bible, in the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 5, it talks about God being the vine. He says that I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. And apart from me, you can do nothing. Without life, we can do nothing. People who are now in the grave, we cannot see their, we can see their expressions from the fruit of their life. And that is good. If they fulfill their purpose, left a legacy, and something is still moving on, you know, that is a life well spent. But there are some who live and we don't see any fruit left behind. Okay. And that is where we know that nothing is still happening out of these lives. But we need to fight to remain attached to the source of our life. That is when we can still continue to bear fruit in our lives. And, you know, by being attached, but if you see a branch being attached to a stem, that's the source of nutrients. That's the source of life. If you see a flower that is still grounded in the ground, it's still attached to its source. So it's still looking beautiful. Once you uproot it, it dries off and it loses life and becomes ugly. So we need to be still remain grounded in our source of life in order to fight for our life. So life is life. Fight for it. So I hope with these few words I've been able to help us just understand some aspects of life through the poem of Mother Teresa. And I hope you've benefited. I would love to hear from you. Maybe I'll read your comments later. So thank you for joining me. I hope that was insightful. Please leave your comments or share on your timeline, share with your friends. Yeah, maybe something that can help someone out there understand life and take positive steps to living a better life. So I wish you the best. Have a lovely weekend and God bless you. Thank you for joining us. So bye.